Good morning, my friends. It's Hammer. Today is Thursday, December 28th, 2023. I, of course, am with Originator Success here with your daily rate lock conversation, the only place on the web where you guys get to be a part of the conversation as we do the morning mortgage rate update. Remember, you can go ahead and join me live each and every day, 9:30 a.m. Eastern time. If you're watching on the replay, give me a hashtag replay in the comments. Always appreciate that. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up, smash that like button, all that stuff. Mouth running a little slow this morning, trying to loosen it up a little bit. So also remember, this is the quietest week of the year. We're not going to see rates move much this week. Traders, of course, taking off until January of 2024. But a couple of fun things to talk about today. Let's go ahead and hit the lock advice, and then we'll say hi to all the live people. Good morning, and make sure you say hello. There's whopping 4 of you on today, so we appreciate you. Today, we are cautiously floating. Not even really all that cautiously. We're just floating. Not afraid to lock, though. Right now, mortgage bonds currently down about 14 basis points on the day. However, rate sheets are going to be about the same as yesterday around this time. You could see that yesterday around 10 a.m., rate sheets were around 100.55. Today, we're about 100.55. Really no difference here. We saw mortgage bonds run up through the afternoon yesterday, although there were very, very few lenders that repriced better. Just a couple of lenders on the wholesale side. And then this morning, we're kind of back to where we were. Same thing for that 10-year treasury yield. Yesterday, it dropped all the way down, ending the day at 3.798, so 3.80. Today, it's at 3.82. Kind of the same old here. Very much flat, what we would expect to see where things are going to stay. But I did want to share, here is an interesting article. Let's pop this. Why is my thing not? Where is my... Hold on a minute. It's not where's my window here? Isn't coming up. Oh, well, I'll have to mess with that later. I have my little snap window, so I could just set this where I want it to be. But let's put this here. Let's put me here. Let's move this over a little bit now and get this. Bear with me. I'm getting this lined up manually since it's not. There we go. All right, so here was an interesting thing that I wanted to go over with you. So this is Bloomberg article this morning. It's talking about global bond carnival sets the stage for record 2 months. The last couple of months, we've seen bonds really improve. We saw the treasury yield push all the way up to 4. Pushed up 5. Hello, get my stuff together, right? So we saw the 10-year treasury yield all the way up here at 5% basically, dropping all the way back down into the high 3s. That is a huge drop, and this is an interesting article that kind of talks about that. Yields on the 10-year treasury global borrowing benchmark have tumbled around 120 basis points from its October peak to around 3.82 as of this morning. U.S. mortgage-backed securities, treasuries, as well as French and German government bonds are the biggest contributors to the index's gain over November, December. Mortgage-backed securities, strong showing since mid-October, defies a textbook theory. And again, just because it's happened in the past doesn't mean that's the way things are going anymore, right? That typically underperform other types of bonds when yields are falling. So normally you wouldn't see mortgage rates dropping so heavy as these, 10-year treasury yields and other bonds are improving, but we did this time. That's because securities had been undervalued as their yield spreads widened over treasuries. Now I know my man Ron Siegel is there. Yeah, Hammer's thing's not working today. They make a pill for that though, Ron, so I don't have to worry about that. Undervalued as their yields spread widened over treasuries. Ron, you've talked about this before. Here is, I don't know where they're getting the basis points on this because it's actually more than that, but let's just say that they're consistent in their estimations here, right? Because they're going over treasuries and maybe not necessarily the 10-year treasury, but in October, there was an 80 basis point spread where 10-year treasuries treasuries, because I don't say the 10-year treasuries versus mortgage-backed securities in the yield spread. That is much lower now to about 45%. You see a big drop, a big decline here. And many investors had been waiting for the time to buy mortgage-backed securities. They rushed to buy them when the bond market turned. Now, again, we knew that this was coming, that when the idea that the Fed was done raising rates and we saw this pivot, we're going to see people basically going to try to be jumping on and grabbing bonds when they're at their peak. Remember something, if you can be buying right now a 6% bond at 101.63, and in 3 months it's at 104 or 102, right? Why wouldn't you want to be buying it there? Remember this. Let's go to the other chart and take a look here. Remember your yield, right? Let's say that you could get the highest coupon that we have on the chart here is 6.5. Let's say that we'll put this on 1 year, and the lowest that you could have gotten it in October. Let's say that you bought these bonds for 99 cents on the dollar, right? 99 cents on the dollar. Well, you've got a couple of choices. You've got a nice yield, 6.5, right? That's going to, that effective yield is going to be a lot higher when bonds are now selling for 102.59. And you can either sell, you could have bought these at 99, sold for 102.50.45. Let's say the middle of next year these are back up to 103, 104. Well, do you want to make $5, 5 cents on every dollar, or $5 on every $100? You could sell these for a premium, or you could hold on to the yields for a longer period of time. Now that we see the Fed is done raising rates and there's all this talk of rate cuts to come in 2024, now is when you would be locking in those CD rates. You would be locking in, because those rates are also going to come back down as the Fed lowers rates. So this is one of the effects of what's going on. There's more of an appetite for those higher range mortgage-backed securities now, because the premiums are going to continue to go up. So we're going to see improvement. And that's what's going to help mortgage rates to improve as it increases demand, and it's going to help to close that gap and close that spread between treasuries and mortgage bonds. So anyway, that's kind of the deal here. That's why the bond market is waking up for the new year and what we're seeing. And that's why that Fed pivot was so important, and inflation is dropping and where things are going. Now, jobless claims this morning, they came in a little bit higher than expected, but really not. I mean, 218,000 is nothing. Remember, for years, we've been 300. Ron Siegel said historically 179 basis point spread yield. They're not very clear on this particular chart on what it just says treasuries. It doesn't say what exactly that which treasuries that they're putting in there. So again, we'll just, with the idea that there's consistency going all the way back to January of 2023, is kind of where we saw these spreads. Spreads have been increasing over the year, dropped significantly over the last month. That's why we saw rates that dropped so significantly over the last month, more so than pretty much in that same range, by the way. 6.61 on that 30-year fixed. Govies down in the low sixes, high fives. Things are going to loosen up. It's going to be a good 2024. You know where I'm going with y'all. If you are, if any of you signed up for the earlier vision planning workshop I did, there's going to be less people on this one. Feel free to jump on. I did send the link out so that everybody has it. I'll send the link out again today. If you've already paid for the previous session, you're invited to this one at, of course, no extra charge. Would love to have you on here. If you haven't completed your plan in that other session, now's the time to do it. Jump on there with me and do that today. If you haven't signed up, sign up. It's HMMRO. It's on the screen, and I'll throw it in the chat here. And if you have not signed up, if you're around for a few hours today, get your butt on this thing. Listen, you will find a huge value being on this live session, the exercises that we go through, and just having a clear vision for 2024. 2024 has the opportunity to be a much better year, but it's not going to be a sit back and answer the phone while your bank account gets thick, year. It's not going to be that way. So anyway, make sure you've got something. Mike said, can I please resend the prep docs? Yep, Mike, I will resend out the link for those as well. For sure, for shizzle. So also, let's say hi to the live folks. Y'all are the ones that are here all the time. We got Rebecca Foote this morning. Good morning, Rebecca. Thomas Wolf, Ron Siegel, of course, Christy Moe, Mike Morano, Alyssa Lartz. Great to see you there. Deb Dickinson, always here. Scott Menser, great to see you, always here as well. Kenny Rivard, Cindy Pulliam. Thank you all for joining me. So do you guys all have plans for the new year? We'll be talking about that a little bit tomorrow. I'm going to Dollywood tomorrow to see the lights, which will be fun. Never been there. The wife and mother-in-law have been there, but I've never been there. My daughter's still in town, so she's going to go. Sent my nieces back yesterday. We had an awesome time. My sister's family came and stayed with us for Christmas and visited, and I was so happy about that. 5-year-old and 2-year-old. It was so fun to have them in the house. So Ron Siegel, you're going to Las Vegas for New Year's. That should be exciting. Anything in particular that you're going to do there? Rebecca, you're going to Williamsburg, Virginia. I have been to Williamsburg once when the kids were small. Do they do a big celebration for New Year's, Rebecca? I'm guessing they probably do, right? Like, because they've got that whole, what do you call that? Revolutionary time frame going on there, reenactment kind of stuff going on. And so that should be pretty cool. That'll be a lot of fun. So, all right, y'all. Well, thank you for joining me. Glad we got to talk about something at least a little bit different today. It's going to be quiet again tomorrow. Of course, markets close at 2 p.m. It'll be even more quiet. Rebecca, family trip every year. You sleep for BYE. Sleep by New Year's Eve. Oh, ha 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 ha. Okay. That's funny. Yeah. You don't sound so old. Your son, great. Come on. Grayson's getting older. I know he wants to stay up. Or do you go to sleep and he stays up? Christy, birthday Saturday. Happy birthday, Christy. And you'll be at the Family Lake House in Northeast Texas. That is awesome. Hope you guys have a fantastic time. Mike Morano, Times Square. Yeah, no. Better bring a pee bottle. And that's all I can tell you about Times Square. I cannot imagine being around that many people. But it is always fun to watch on TV, isn't it? But I wouldn't want to be there either, my friend. Definitely not. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to wrap it up, and I will see you tomorrow for our last hoorah of 2023. I am excited for 2024. Ron, I'm old. We celebrate on East Coast, even though you're in the West. You know what? I'm all with you. I told my wife, I'm like, I don't really want to stay up for New Year's. And she's like, oh, she was making fun of me. We'll stay up. But yeah, I wasn't feeling it as much either. I don't, but we'll have fun. So, all right, y'all, have a fantastic one. Thank you for joining me. I'll see you guys tomorrow if I do. And if not, have a wonderful new year. I'm excited about 2024 and being part of your success. Take care. Bye-bye.